remember to record this. So what you're going to do is go to agent.kw.com and just want to make sure you can't run an ad unless your Facebook account is connected, and you can only connect your account if you have a business page. So if you haven't done that yet, definitely do that. Obviously, you can just watch and you can replay this, or like I always say, you can always come next week because I teach the class every week. So you definitely have to have that connected. But it's still good to know, so then you can run your own when you're ready. What you're going to do is go to the campaigns button. It looks like a megaphone. And this is where basically anything social media you can run in here. So you have your regular social posts in here as well, but you also have your paid ads. So what you're going to do is on the top right corner, you might want to move us to the top or something. Wherever the photos are is probably blocking it, but you're going to click create new campaign. And instead of choosing just a regular social post, we're going to do social ad. Don't do search ad. I had someone that clicked on that and ran it and they didn't get any leads. I'm not really even sure how it works. So just don't do the Google search ad. Stick with the social ad. Click on that. The first thing you're going to do is name the campaign. I always suggest, obviously, if you're running an ad just to get like buyers or sellers, you don't have a particular listing. I would just put whatever you're going to remember what it is in it. So if you're attracting buyers, maybe you want to do like attracting buyers, the town that you're doing it in or the area. And then I always suggest to put the date just so that when you are going back, if you get good results, you can be like, okay, I ran this one last month on the 2nd. You know what? Let's run it again. I'll click. You can actually duplicate it, which I'll show you how to after. So it's always good just to remember, when you did them. So you'll do the name. I'm just going to do test. If you're doing an open house, you can put open house. The name no one's going to see besides you. So it's really just whatever is going to, make sense to you. Though there's a few things that you want to take away. I think there's 5. I think I counted 5 last time. So the first one is you always, 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 always want to choose attract buyers. No matter what you're doing, if you're trying to get listings, if you're trying to get, maybe you want to grow your downline, you're attracting people to come to KW. But attracting buyers, we have tested the other ones and we haven't ever gotten good results. So you just want to stick with attracting buyers. It just has to do with Facebook. So you can run it on Facebook and Instagram. They did just add Twitter. I would not recommend running it on Twitter, especially if you don't have a platform on Twitter. There's really no point. I don't think people are scrolling through Twitter looking for their next home or looking for a real estate agent. Maybe some, but I would stick to Facebook and Instagram.
I have a question, Reese. I'm sorry to
Yes.
go back.
No,
You said in order to
no,
go on
don't
here,
be
you
sorry.
have to be linked to what? I'm sorry. What needs to be linked?
So in settings, you would link Facebook post scheduling and Facebook ads manager. But you have to have a Facebook business page to be able to connect those.
Okay. And
And
where can I find the recording
business
for this?
page. Sorry.
Where can I find the recording? Because I may have to jump off early, but where can I find the recording?
It's going to be on the coaching lobby. I re-recorded everything this week, so they'll all be up later tonight or tomorrow morning.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So you're going to click that, and then you'll click set up campaign. So like I said, you don't have to have a listing to run this. But if you did, or let's say like you were hosting an open house for another agent, what you can actually do is connect the listing so that you can pull all the photos and some of the description as well from the listing. So you would click add listing. What you would do next is where it says show only my listings. You always want to choose all listings. This is part of the KWLS, but it's like the upgraded version that they're still working on. So pulling all the information correctly. Sometimes your listings don't always show up when you are only on only my listings. So always choose all listings. Then you would search for a home. There is one that I just helped an agent put on the market. So maybe that one will pop up and we can use that one. Don't think the photo's loaded yet, but that's okay. We can just use a different one. I'm going to choose this one in Mawa. And again, you want to make sure you put the full address because, like I always say, like you'll find that like street names and the exact address would be the exact same besides the state. So you always want to make sure you're putting and sometimes in the state, you want to make sure, obviously, the town too. But so as you can see, it automatically pulled the first photo in the MLS and it also pulled part of the customer remarks. So on the left hand side, that's where you're going to edit everything. The right hand side is your preview. Obviously, yours won't say Keller Williams. Yours will say whatever your Facebook business page name is. But I don't have one set up correctly, at least from teaching it so many times. So that's why mine just says Keller Williams. But your photo and your business name will show up here. So as we scroll on the left-hand side, the great thing about it pulling the MLS information is like you probably just need to like edit this a little and then you can always, add more or get rid of some. And again, if you're not doing a listing, you can still utilize the Facebook ads. So basically the main copy, which is the first one, is kind of like the status part of Facebook. So the status part is always like above the photo. And on the right hand side, if you do choose Facebook and Instagram, you can see how it would look on Instagram. Obviously, the main copy in Instagram is just going to be like the caption for the photo. So what you would do next is the headline. This is like the most important part. This is what is going to capture them to click the learn more button. So if you can see on the right, there's a learn more button next to where it says headline to tell what your advert is about, which is just advertising and it shortened it. This is where you want to put like a question or if there's something that's like really specific about the house, like say your house has a movie theater or it's on like flat acre of flat land, or anything like that. That's when you would just put a statement. But or you could put like, are you looking to move to a neighborhood that's close to parks? Question mark. That'll probably, if someone's interested, that'll make them click learn more. If you're doing an open house, then you would just do like open house this Sunday 1 to 3. You don't want to put the date of the open house because what you'll find is you want to run the ad actually a day after, if it's something relating to an open house. Obviously, if you're just doing a listing or attracting buyers, your timeline is just going to be whatever you want. But for an open house, you want it to run to the day after the open house because the ad stops in the morning. So let's say you had an open house on Sunday at 1, you wouldn't want the ad to stop at 9 a.m. So what you would do is you would just not put the day that the open house is because if they're interested, they'll click learn more and you'll be in contact with them. But you'll put the time and then because you'll put like this Sunday. But if they see it on Monday, they're not going to think, oh, it was yesterday. So obviously if you put like advertise open house this Sunday 1 to 3, if they see it on Thursday or Friday, they're going to know it's Sunday. But if they see it on Monday, they're not going to think, oh, I missed it. It was last week. So it's totally okay to not put the date for that. And that's what I recommend so that if you do get leads on Monday, you can always book a private appointment with them. So the description part, I know it has a little asterisk. It'll go away once you assign your business, like once you click on whatever page you want it on Facebook. So the one thing I do suggest to just put here is like a call me today with your phone number. It won't show up on all platforms. Again, whenever we're like all three of us, we're at our computers, the screen's probably 3 different sizes. So the description won't show up on everything. It doesn't show up on Instagram because obviously Instagram is only a certain amount of, they don't want you like typing out a gigantic caption that's like a page long. But on Facebook, if someone's on mobile, it might not show up. So you don't want to put like important information. I would just put like call me today for any questions or for a private showing and put your phone number. You also don't want to say anything in there that's going to make them do that really instead of clicking learn more because you want them to be added to your database. Because when they click learn more, they're automatically added to your database as a lead, which is great. And that's what the whole point of running the ads are. So I'm just going to put, X's for these so that we just save that. And you'll see that when it has a green check mark, that means that it's completed. The media, if you are attaching a listing, will always always just say it's good because it automatically adds one photo. But what you would do is click configure. And if you are using a listing, when you add more, it'll actually give you all of the pictures on the MLS. So you wouldn't have to download them at all. You wouldn't have to do any of that. And then if you click add images, let's say, you're just using stock photo. I know I talked about this in my recent class. Command has a ton of stock photos that you can use. Because if you're attracting buyers, maybe you just want a stock photo of like people packing up their house. Or if you are focusing on an area, something I always suggest to do is you can always go to the town and like take a picture of the town sign, or you can, take a picture of like a street of, if it's really pretty, like fall colors or something like that. You guys are your best photographer as well. But if you did want to use a stock photo, you could do that in designs. And then what you would do is click browse design library, and it'll actually allow you to choose your designs that you have in there. So for example, like this one, I just have a stock photo on it. I don't have anything else on it. So when it loads, it'll allow me to crop it. The one thing that you want to remember is that you can't have any text on the photo, like over the photo. If you take a picture of a sign, that's already in the picture. But to have like, if you create something in design and it's like looking to buy today, question mark, Facebook won't push that out. They just, for some reason, that's one of their rules. They don't like to push that kind of stuff out. So they won't. And also like other Facebook rules, like no alcohol or like anything like that. Not that you're going to, be posting about alcohol with real estate, maybe a happy hour, but so you can't run happy hour ads on here. But anything with like this, if I wanted this whole thing to be on here with let me help your, obviously I edited that because that doesn't make a full sentence, but let's say I wanted this, it would like not get pushed out. I probably maybe would only get 1 or 2 leads, if that. So you definitely want to just make sure that it's just a photo. And remember, like your headline is really what you want them to focus on because that's how they're going to click learn more. So let's just say that was the photo. We'll make it a square so they're all in it. I clicked refresh by accident.
Reese, are you able to change the first picture? Like, when it automatically pulls from a listing, so I can pick whatever picture I want.
Oh, yeah, 100%. You can change the order as well as delete. Like if you don't want the first photo, you can completely delete it as well if you wanted to too. Let me just get back in here. I tried moving you guys around and then I clicked refresh by accident. I put you guys where I'm not going to mess anything else up. So once you do the photos, like I was saying, yes, you can edit them. So you would click the 3 dots and you can actually change the image, crop the image, or delete. And then you'll see there's like this little bar on the left-hand side. It has like 6 dots on it. That's how you would be able to move them around the order that you want. It is a carousel, so it's going to run like this. So like say we're just going to add the same photo because this one doesn't have other photos. Say like if you see like if you watch the right hand side, it'll automatically go to the next photo. So your first photo might not be the same depending on when they're scrolling. So the order doesn't necessarily matter unless obviously you want to show them like, okay, you enter the house, then you have this room, then you have this room, then you probably want an order. But the first photo isn't necessarily always going to be the first photo. And then you would save that. If the logo doesn't come up, it should pull from your marketing profile. When you create the ad, you'll see that's previewing and cropping the logo. So just give that time. If it takes too long, you can exit out and you can upload the logo yourself. And then you'll click Save Ad Media. The next one would be Facebook and Instagram ads. So when you get here, what you're going to do is where it says pages, you're going to select your page. You'll probably only have one. I just have a bunch from, making fake ones for the classes. But you would choose the Facebook page. And then if you had Instagram, you would choose if you want it on an ad or a story. So you can run an ad story. Honestly, a lot of the feedback that we've gotten is that most of the leads are coming from Facebook. I would definitely suggest doing more of the Instagram ad because it's on their feed then. Stories, they might just click next and they probably won't click that learn more button. For the destination, this is the second part that you always want to do is use Facebook lead generation form. You never, ever want to use a site or landing page. And here's why. If you use a site or landing page, when they click that learn more button, you're not collecting their information. It's bring them to that website and you would need to have like a form wherever you're sending them. Whereas when you use the Facebook lead generation form, once they click that learn more button, even if they close the tab out, you have their information because it's pulling from Facebook. So you can still send them wherever you want. The one thing that Elise and I both say is that you don't want to send them to the listing on your website if you are doing a listing, because then when you call, they're not going to need any information. If you send them and you give them all the photos, you give them all the details, when you call and you're like, oh, we have this listing, I'd love to tell you more about, they're going to be like, oh, I already saw it. We'll let you know if we're interested. Instead of, being curious about what else the house has to offer. So what we suggest is either sending them to your regular website. You can send them to your Facebook page as well, or you can actually choose the landing page to be the download your app so that they get your app. So one of those three options, those are the ones that we suggest. Obviously, if you want to, you're more than welcome to send them to the listing or the virtual tour. But just remember, they might not need any information from you, so they might not want to talk to you on the phone right away. The third part of this is ad targeting. So you would click use custom settings on the right hand side, and then this will pop open. What you're going to do is choose the location. So for the location, if you're doing it, say it's like in the middle of a county, you're really trying to focus on that county, then you want to do the county because it'll start in the middle and go out throughout. And obviously it'll probably go a little out of Bergen County if you were to choose that, but it does have to be from like a 22 to 25 mile radius. Facebook is changing this all the time. It used to be 15, then it was 20, now it's more than 20. So when you do a town, it's still going to go out 22 miles. So say you're really trying to attract buyers in a certain area. You want to make sure that those are the buyers that you're finding. If you're doing New York, I suggest doing like Manhattan because that is the center of New York. But obviously up to you. You can do the town as well. But if it's something in the middle of the county, I probably would just do the county to make sure that it hits everywhere in that county. But if it's kind of on the border and you think buyers from, both areas would be able and, would be wanting the house, then definitely just do the town. But again, if you have any questions on that when you're running your ad, just let me know. Expert targeting, I have personally run ads with expert targeting, without expert targeting. Expert targeting, there are options like Trulia, Zillow, apartments.com, realtor.com. Besides those, any expert targeting is really more focused on if you have a specific home. So let's just say you had a luxury home. An expert targeting you might want is luxury, and like you would click on luxury vehicles and properties because people looking at that on Facebook are probably looking for a luxury home. Obviously this does make your targeting smaller because it's not going out to everyone on Facebook. It's only going out to that, which is good and bad. You might get less leads, but they're probably going to be more focused on what your property is, so it's not like, okay, this person clicked learn more, but they are looking to buy a new home and I'm having a luxury property. That's kind of, that's not someone that's ready to buy that luxury property when they're really just looking for a first time starter home. But like I said, I have worked with agents before that have gotten leads without expert targeting. A lot of people will be like, okay, what's the magical solution to get the best ad? There really isn't. Everyone's platform is different and everyone who they're friends with and people that like the same interests and stuff. I could run the same ad for both of you on your accounts and you would get completely different leads. So it really is just focusing on your ad, and once you run a few, you'll see, okay, well, I got 20 leads on this and I only got 5 on the other one. Let me go back into the one that I got 20 and see exactly where I put the ad, how much money I spent, how many days it was. And then that's kind of when you want to, obviously, you want to stick with what's good. So if you're getting good leads, you want to use that exact same whatever you put in the ad. Maybe not forever, but if you're getting good leads versus another one, you probably want to stick to that for a while. The next part would be duration and budget. So in here, another thing to note is that this is the third thing to note, that the ad, say I made it today, it wouldn't run till tomorrow because Facebook needs 24 hours to approve the ad. So if you have an open house Sunday, you probably want the ad latest to be published in here yesterday, like on a Thursday, so that you get that whole weekend. But like I said, so, and it'll tell you like today, this says date should be greater than today. I've run ads for 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, 10 days. So it really depends on what you're doing. Obviously, if you're doing an open house, you're most likely going to be in that 3-day to 5-day range. If you have it just listed, or you're looking for buyers, or you're just looking for listings, you'll probably do more of a 10-day ad for that. The one other thing to note is that you don't want to do more than 10 days. So let's just say that you were, let me just get this to, we'll do 10 days. Say you wanted to run the ad for a month. What you would want to do is copy this, like duplicate it 3 times and have it run, consecutively. You don't want to have an ad run more than 10 days, because after that, that's when Facebook like refreshes the ads that are going on. So you won't really get any leads. The budget. So for 10 days, you would need more than, if you were doing Facebook and Instagram, you would need more than $20 for the 10 days, because it has to be more than $1 per channel per day. If you were doing just Facebook, you could run it for $10. I would probably recommend 15. But again, it'll tell you your daily total. You always want it more than like $1.50. We've just found that when ads are only $1 or a little less, they won't let you go less than $1. But if they're at $1, sometimes the leads aren't the best. So you always want to do a little more than $1 per day. Obviously, if you want to do $30 for 10 days, we've had good results with that as well. And that's kind of what KW recommends. And that's $3 per day to split up between the 2 channels. So the fourth thing you want to remember is it's automatically going to have you distribute evenly across the channels. You wanted to use automatic placement. This is only if you're using Facebook and Instagram. And the reason you want that is because, say you're running the ad, you're getting a few leads, you get 3 leads today from Facebook, and you don't have any from Instagram, it'll use the rest of the day's money to Facebook instead of Instagram, because why would you want to waste your money spending it on something where no one's clicking on anything? So it will take wherever your money is being well spent and put it in there, instead of it, okay, Facebook's only getting $1.50 per day and Instagram's only getting $1.50 per day. So when you use automatic placement, it'll use your money where you're getting the most leads or the most interest in things. Anyone have any questions on any of that stuff?
So they charge you per click. Is that how that works?
So it's just a total amount of money. So let's say that they're gonna use all of your money. So it is, say you do $30 for 10 days, you're gonna get charged the $30 so that they can run it for 10 days. It's not like a post charge. So you get charged up front. And it's not through us, it's like directly through KW, like Facebook. So the other thing you do want to remind yourself is that you can stop an ad, but you're not going to get your money back because they have already started to use it for spending. So just make sure that the ad you're going to be running is the one you want to run. And your first one, I wouldn't spend more than $30 for your first ad, because that $30 10 days is like a good range. If you want to run for less, that's good too, but I wouldn't spend more than that, because the first one, it's going to let you know kind of like maybe you shouldn't be marketing that area, or maybe you should be marketing in this area. So you definitely want to, I just wouldn't recommend spending more than $30 on your first try, because it's your first ad. You get leads, that'll be great. And then if you want to spend more the next time, then you're more than welcome. I mean, you can spend more the first time. It's not like I'm going to come find you, but I wouldn't recommend spending more than $30 on the first try.
Okay, thanks.
So obviously I'm going to save as draft, but you guys would click publish campaign. When you publish it, it'll ask you for your payment information. Once you put that in once, next time it'll just save your credit card, and you can just click on the credit card you want to use, or debit card. So you don't have to worry about, putting in your card information every single time. It'll save it in there. And so how and when do you see the leads? So you'll see the leads as they come in. You'll get a notification, but I'll also show you, which I've explained before, how to set up your database so that it is the most recent. So that will help you as well, right when you go into command. So what you'll see is where mine says draft, you'll see that it's active. At first, it will say reviewing or preview, and then the CPC, those are going to be your impressions. So that's your amount of impressions. Your CPM is the amount of impressions. CPC is a cost per click. So people can click on any part of your ad and it will bring them to that link that you put on. But obviously you want them to click the learn more button. So the CPLC, that's cost per lead click. That's when people click on the learn more button, and that's the number that you'll find all their contact information. What you can do is you can click on that number and it'll just give you a list strictly of those leads. So, you can just take a look at all of them. But say you were just, checking in on your database, you have an ad running for 10 days. What you can do is you want to make sure that your database is set up so that updated is most recent. And you'll see when your leads come in, they'll have an L next to them. So you'll know that they're all coming in as leads from Facebook. The check mark is when they're using your app or site. So the L, obviously I don't have any because I haven't run any ads, but the L will be right next to their name. You'll know it's an ad. And something I would do is you can set up a smart plan, which is the follow-up system. I definitely recommend making one for Facebook ads, because obviously sometimes you're running around, you might not be able to get back to them. So it's always good to just put them on it. Something you can do now is have the smart plan be triggered by a tag. So if you wanted to say these 3 people came in as leads and you wanted to select bulk tag, you want them to be labeled as FB lead, then when you do that, they would automatically be added to that smart plan. So that's a nice thing to do, because as your leads come in, you can just tag them, because you're going to want them to be tagged anyways to kind of, say you end up having an open house for this property a month later, maybe you want to send them all a bulk email. Anyone that came in from that Facebook lead ad. So that's something you can definitely do. And again, don't reinvent the wheel before you check out the library and smart plans, because you can find smart plans that are for Facebook ads. There's a ton for that specific type of smart plan. So definitely take a look at those before you try and create your own, because no point in reinventing the wheel when you can just adjust someone's that they've made public to you guys. So that would be my little tip for that. Do you guys have any questions on kind of how that works? No? You guys good? My star students. All right. Well, I mean, if you guys don't have any questions, then I'll let you go. If you have any other questions on anything else, you can ask now too.
Grace, I was playing around with like one of the smart plans that you created last night.
Mm-hmm.